The engagement ring was perfect. 2-carat princess cut, platinum setting, custom designed by Cartier's Auckland branch. I'd spent 3 months planning the proposal at Cathedral Cove. Helicopter transport, sunrise timing, photographer hidden in the rocks. Delilah's father had given his blessing over whiskey in his Ponsonby study. Every detail mapped out like the architectural projects I managed for a living. 18 months of building something I thought was solid. Foundation of trust, structure of shared goals, finishing touches of romantic gestures. I believed we were constructing a future together. The text arrived during our anniversary dinner at Soul Bar. I was showing her the Cathedral Cove booking confirmation when her phone lit up between us. Sage Webb, need you tonight. Urgent client emergency, flying out tomorrow. She glanced at the screen, smile faltering for half a second before reassembling itself. Sorry, babe, work drama. You know how Fashion Week prep gets. Delilah ran a boutique design studio in Newmarket. But Fashion Week was months away, and I'd never heard of Sage Webb in her client roster. Details matter in my profession. Inconsistencies trigger investigation. Go ahead and respond, I said, cutting into my steak. I'll tell you about the helicopter arrangements. She typed quickly. On my way, 20 minutes. 20 minutes to cross Auckland for an urgent fitting. At 9 p.m. on Friday night. I continued describing proposal logistics while she half listened, distracted by whatever scenario was playing out in her messages. We had incredible intimacy that night. Her idea, unusually insistent for someone supposedly stressed about work. She fell asleep against my chest while I stared at the ceiling, processing variables. Saturday morning, she left early for a supplier meeting. I made coffee and opened her iPad to check weather for our planned beach walk. The messages were right there, unlocked, because trusting couples don't hide communications. Except these weren't business messages. The Sage Webb thread stretched back 4 months. Evening meetups disguised as client emergencies. Weekend fittings during my business trips. Photos exchanged. Her in lingerie I'd never seen. Him shirtless in hotel rooms. Caspian, miss you already. When can we get away properly? Delilah, Quentin's planning some big proposal thing. Perfect timing to keep him distracted. Caspian, don't let him put a ring on it before you figure out what you want. Delilah, I know what I want. Question is whether I can have both. I screenshot everything methodically, creating a folder labeled evidence. Not for legal purposes, for clarity, to ensure I wasn't misunderstanding context. But there was no misinterpretation. 4 months of parallel relationship. Strategic timing around my travel. Her amusement at my romantic planning, the casual cruelty of using my proposal preparations as cover for deception. I forwarded screenshots to my personal email, cleared message history, closed the iPad. Then I sat at my kitchen table and designed her exit from my life with the same systematic precision I applied to construction projects. Foundation, document everything, secure witnesses, establish timeline. Structure, financial separation, asset division, lease obligations, finishing touches, complete erasure, no forwarding address, no possibility of reestablishment. By Sunday evening, I'd arranged a Melbourne apartment through architect contacts, scheduled phone interviews with Grimshaw for their South Bank project, and booked shipping for Monday. Boxes labeled old textbooks to avoid suspicion. Delilah would be at her studio until late, preparing for our supposed Cathedral Cove departure Tuesday. She returned around 10 p.m., glowing with that particular energy from stolen intimacy. We shared wine on the balcony while she talked about her challenging client and excitement for our romantic getaway. I love how you plan everything perfectly, she said, curling against my shoulder. Makes me feel so secure. Security. Such a flexible concept. That night, while she slept, I transferred personal items into shipping boxes. Books, sketches, architectural photography, everything marking this apartment as home rather than accommodation. I left her coffee machine. She could make Caspian's morning flat white. Tomorrow she would meet him as planned. Tomorrow I would be 35,000 feet above the Tasman Sea, beginning a new project where no one knew my history. Tomorrow she would discover that some foundations, once cracked, cannot support any structure. The Grimshaw interview exceeded expectations. Senior associate position on their waterfront development, 60-story residential tower with integrated retail. Melbourne's architecture scene moved faster than Auckland's, more ambitious projects, less provincial politics. I signed the contract while Delilah was presumably discovering my empty apartment. Ezra texted first. "Mate, Delilah's calling everyone. Says your place was robbed but only your stuff's missing. Police think she's confused. What's happening?" "Moving to Melbourne for work. No point in extended goodbyes." "Jesus, Quentin. She's losing her mind. Says you were proposing this week. Plans change." I blocked his number. Ezra meant well, but his loyalty would favor drama over discretion. He'd feed information both directions, trying to play peacemaker in a situation requiring surgical separation. My new apartment overlooked the Yarra River from Eureka Tower's 32nd floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows, marble countertops, walk-in wardrobe. Rent was double Auckland's cost, but salary increase covered the difference. Zara knocked Thursday evening, holding Veuve Clicquot and wearing a smile suggesting professional confidence rather than social anxiety. Late 20s, Indian heritage, senior interior designer with Conrad Gargett. We'd been introduced through the project team. "Welcome to the big leagues," she said, stepping into my barely furnished space, "though your decorating needs work." I travel light. Good thing you know someone specializing in making empty spaces beautiful. Dinner at Chin Chin, cocktails on Collins Street rooftop, ended at her South Yarra apartment. She was direct about attraction, comfortable with casual intimacy, refreshingly absent of games. When she slipped her dress off, she maintained eye contact instead of performing vulnerability. Waking in her bed Saturday morning, she was already dressed for her run, bringing coffee and croissants from the French bakery downstairs. "I don't do relationship drama," she said matter-of-factly. "If that's what you're running from, you found the right person." "Not running from anything, running toward something better." Ezra's messages escalated. Delilah filed missing person report, but police say adults can leave. She's posting on Instagram asking if anyone's seen you. This is getting weird. I checked her social media from Zara's laptop. Public posts with crying emojis, asking friends to share if they had information about Quentin. Comments ranged from sympathetic to confused. The Caspian connection was already cracking her narrative. People noticed inconsistencies when emotions ran high. More interesting was what wasn't posted. No mention of relationship problems, no hint she might have contributed to my departure. She was selling herself as victim of mysterious abandonment rather than architect of relationship destruction. Friday's posts went dark. No updates, no crying selfies. Ezra sent final message. "Caspian dumped her yesterday. Said he didn't want the drama. She's staying with her parents. I think she gets it. You're not coming back." Saturday, Zara and I took the train to Brighton Beach, walking colorful bathing boxes while she explained Melbourne's neighborhood hierarchies. She moved with confidence of someone who'd built success through skill rather than circumstance. "You're different from most men I meet," she said, watching sunset over Port Phillip Bay. "Less desperate to prove something. Age brings perspective." Sunday brought news completing Delilah's social collapse. Her friend Thea posted screenshots of text arguments between Delilah and Caspian, including admissions of the 4-month overlap and strategic use of my proposal planning as a fair cover. Comments turned brutal quickly. Auckland's social scene was small enough that everyone knew everyone's business, large enough for efficient humiliation spread. Her clients would see this. Suppliers, professional contacts, family friends. Caspian had saved every begging message she'd sent when he left, including explicit admissions of deception and panic about losing both relationships. He forwarded them to his new girlfriend, who shared them as evidence of how crazy Quentin's ex is being. The architecture was collapsing exactly as designed. Remove foundational support, entire structure becomes unstable. Add pressure to weak points, systematic failure follows inevitably. For the first time, she had no backup plan. The number leak came through Silas, my former Jazzmax colleague. We'd worked Wynyard Quarter together, maintained casual professional contact. I should have anticipated he'd be susceptible to distressed woman's sob story. Silas. Some woman called looking for you. Said she was your girlfriend, family emergency. Seemed upset, so I gave her your number. Hope that's okay. It wasn't okay. HR had strict instructions. No forwarding information outside immediate family. Voicemails started within hours. Initially apologetic, pleading, desperate. Delilah's voice cracked, explaining she understood I was angry, wanted to make things right, never meant anyone to get hurt. Standard language of someone caught, rather than genuinely remorseful. Day 3, tone shifted to anger. She'd discovered my LinkedIn update announcing Melbourne position, realized this wasn't temporary retreat, but permanent geographical separation. Messages became accusations. I was cruel, leaving without explanation. She deserved opportunity to defend herself. Real men faced problems instead of running. Be a fucking man, Quentin, she hissed during message 31. Stop hiding behind hurt feelings and actually talk to me. You owe me that after 18 months. I screenshot each notification for documentation, blocked her number without listening to full recordings. Lawyers appreciated comprehensive evidence trails for restraining orders. Office confrontation happened Tuesday. I was reviewing structural drawings when reception called, "Someone here to see you." Says she's delivering architectural supplies? Delilah stood in Grimshaw's glass lobby wearing black dress costing more than most monthly rents, holding manila envelope of assembled props. She looked smaller than I remembered, commanding presence diminished by unfamiliar surroundings. Security had been briefed about unauthorized visitors. When I declined meeting, building policy required immediate escort. "You're seriously having me thrown out?" she called across lobby, voice echoing off marble surfaces. "I flew here to see you, Quentin. Give me 5 minutes to explain." "Ma'am, leave now," security said firmly, positioning between Delilah and elevators. "Be a man!" she shouted as guards guided her toward exit. "Stop acting like a coward and face what we had." I watched from mezzanine while she was escorted to Collins Street, theatrical desperation playing to strangers who'd never seen her charm, only inability to accept boundaries. "Does this happen often?" Zara asked that evening, reading incident report while I cooked dinner. "First time anyone's tracked me down at work." "Want me to handle it?" "Handle it how?" "I know Auckland fashion scene people. Word travels fast when business reputations deteriorate." I declined. Delilah's professional collapse would happen organically as personal drama infected client relationships. Weekend, Zara and I flew to Queenstown for firm's quarterly retreat. Partner accommodation at Icart's private hotel, helicopter Milford Sound tour, Central Otago wine tasting. I posted curated photos to LinkedIn and Instagram, mountain vistas, luxury suite views, Zara wearing Cartier bracelet from Collins Street jewelry quarter. Posts weren't targeted at Delilah specifically, but Auckland's algorithms would ensure they reached her network. Mutual friends would screenshot and share, curious about my rapid lifestyle and romantic upgrade. Ezra confirmed posts achieved intended effect. "Delilah saw your Queenstown photos. She's calling around asking about your girlfriend's name. Probably not healthy for her tracking your movements." Fashion Week incident happened while we were still in Queenstown. Thea forwarded Instagram video, Delilah at Viaduct Events Center arguing with security about runway show invitation. She'd been removed from guest lists after designers heard about her personal instability, but attempted attending anyway. Confrontation escalated when she spotted Caspian with new girlfriend in VIP section. Security footage showed her throwing wine glass that shattered against backdrop display, screaming abandonment accusations while attendees recorded on phones. Police arrived within minutes, escorting her in handcuffs while photographers captured every angle. Client list evaporated overnight. Auckland's fashion community operated on reputation and reliability. Public meltdowns, property damage, police involvement were incompatible with discreet professionalism expected from designers serving high-net-worth individuals. Caspian harassment intensified proportionally. His girlfriend shared hourly text screenshots ranging from apologies to threats to intimate favor offers if he'd consider resuming their relationship. When blocked, she began appearing at his apartment building, gym, worksite. Breaking point. She appeared at his girlfriend's apartment wearing wig, claiming to be my sister, demanding discussion of Caspian's treatment of Quentin's fiancée. When girlfriend refused opening door, Delilah shouted about pregnancy with Caspian's child, claiming emergency medical attention need. Building security found her banging door, screaming paternity lawsuit and child support threats. When they attempted escort, she shoved guard and tried forcing apartment building entry. First arrest, trespassing, assault, false public statements, resisting lawful security directions. Court appearance scheduled 3 weeks later. Caspian's girlfriend provided police-sustained harassment evidence, including recorded voicemails where Delilah admitted fabricating pregnancy claims. Court date set. I'm now officially the victim. Legal system validated what I'd known from beginning. Her behavior represented escalating instability, genuine risk to anyone refusing to enable her attention and control demands. From Queenstown's luxury suite, watching Zara review wine-tasting notes while mountains reflected in lake water, I felt satisfaction watching poorly constructed architecture collapse under its own contradictions. Some people built relationships on solid trust and mutual respect foundations. Others built on sand, hoping charm and manipulation would compensate for structural inadequacies. The courts would determine which category Delilah fell into.